Some of the most intense challenges we encounter are not those the world can witness, but the ones that unfold within. These are the private struggles, the quiet confrontations with fear, uncertainty, discouragement, and self-doubt. Moments arise when life feels burdensome, as if the weight of everything presses against our spirit. But what if I told you that the strength to overcome such invisible battles already exists within you? That despite how overwhelming it may feel, you can train your mind to withstand anything. This is at the very heart of Stoic thought, the ability not only to persist through life's storms, but to grow stronger because of them. Stoicism offers a path to transform hardship into strength, turning pain into progress and confusion into clarity. The great Stoic thinkers believed that true strength doesn't come from controlling external events. It comes from gaining mastery over your thoughts, the filter through which you see and feel the world. Today, we're going to explore how to shape that kind of mental fortitude, one reflection at a time. If you're prepared to see adversity as a teacher, to train your perspective rather than be ruled by it, then stay with me. This is about building a foundation for personal evolution, rooted in awareness, intention, and purpose. Before we discuss the practical path to inner strength, let's sit with a powerful truth. Your perception forms your reality. It's easy to assume that our experiences are shaped by the world outside of us, by people, situations, or fortune. But that's an illusion. It's not what happens around us that defines our experience. It's how we interpret it. What we believe about the world colors how we feel, how we behave, and ultimately, the life we create. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself that it's not the events that disturb us, it's our judgments about them. Consider that for a moment. Think back to a recent experience where you felt discouraged. Maybe something didn't go your way at work, or a personal relationship let you down. Ask yourself, was it the situation itself that hurt you, or your interpretation of what it meant? More often than not, it's not the event itself that defeats us, but how we choose to perceive it. That shift, this conscious reframing, is the beginning of inner power. If you can alter your perception, you can alter your emotional response, and with that, you begin to build a durable, resilient mindset, one that can hold steady when everything around you is uncertain. Every experience passes through your thoughts before it reaches your heart. If those thoughts are filled with self-pity or fear, the world will feel like an unbearable place. But if you train your perspective to view every setback as an opening for growth, something shifts. You stop feeling like a victim of life. You begin to act as a participant in shaping it. That is the essence of Stoicism. Power is not found in changing what happens. It's found in shaping how you respond. So think about it. When life becomes difficult, you have a choice. You can see the situation as a dead end or as a test of your character. One response leaves you feeling powerless. The other turns you into a learner, a builder of inner strength. This is where transformation begins. When you change how you view the world, your relationship with it begins to evolve. Instead of feeling attacked by life, you feel invited to grow through it. But let's be clear, developing this kind of mindset isn't automatic. It takes repetition, self-awareness, and deliberate effort. The first and most vital step is simply this: to notice that your thoughts are shaping your experience. That insight alone is powerful. It gives you the space to step away from your automatic emotional reactions and examine what's really happening. The next time you feel overwhelmed, angry, or frustrated, pause. Ask yourself, what exactly am I reacting to right now? Is it the event, or is it how I'm framing the event? That simple inquiry can shift your entire approach. And the more you practice this kind of introspection, the more second nature it becomes. Eventually, your mind begins to adjust. You stop seeing adversity as something purely negative and start recognizing it as fuel, material to be used for your growth. You stop needing the outside world to change in order to find peace. You realize that peace can be cultivated from the inside through choice. This is the architecture of a resilient mind, understanding that while you cannot always control the storm, you can decide how you sail through it. The next time you encounter hardship, pause and reflect. Don't just ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, ask, "What am I being invited to learn through this?" That single question shifts you into a higher frame of mind. You no longer shrink from obstacles. You begin to see them as sharpening stones, tools for refinement, doors to deeper strength. And this is where your true power is born, not in avoiding pain, but in converting it into wisdom, not in suppressing hardship, but in allowing it to deepen your resilience and shape your character. The first step to building a mindset that doesn't crumble under pressure is to realize this. Your mind is your greatest tool. Your thoughts are the lens through which you see the world, and how you think determines what you experience. With this awareness, change becomes possible. Challenges begin to look like teachers. Setbacks become opportunities. Discomfort becomes the gym where you train your spirit. This isn't about pretending that difficulties don't exist. It's about realizing that you always have the power to choose your frame. That choice is the beginning of real strength. Principle 1: Rejection and resilience. Rejection stings. There's no way around it. You offer something real, your effort, your voice, your heart, and you're met with a cold no. It leaves you exposed, disappointed, even questioning yourself. But what if rejection wasn't a dead end? What if it was an invitation? Most people see rejection as failure, as proof they weren't enough. But in reality, rejection is one of the most powerful tools for building resilience. When seen clearly, it stops being a personal defeat and becomes a form of training, mental, emotional, and deeply transformative. Think of it like strength training. The first time you lift weights, it hurts. The resistance feels overwhelming. But you don't quit because it's painful. You grow because of it. Rejection works the same way. Each no strengthens you. Each setback adds another layer of resilience. Over time, you realize something crucial. Rejection doesn't define you. It prepares you. History proves this. The greatest thinkers, creators, and leaders weren't spared rejection. They were shaped by it. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before succeeding, yet he never saw those failures as wasted effort. He saw them as progress. That refusal to be broken by rejection is what made him extraordinary. And this isn't just about inventors or visionaries. Everyone faces rejection. A job that slips away, a relationship that ends, an idea that's dismissed. It's part of being human. The real question is simple. How will you respond? Will rejection shut you down, or will you let it sharpen you? The Stoics believed strength is forged through discomfort. They didn't avoid hardship, they used it. Rejection to them wasn't proof of inadequacy, it was a test of character. A chance to define your worth not by others' opinions, but by your own response. Seen this way, rejection becomes a redirection, not a failure, a correction in course, a moment to refine your path, sharpen your focus, and move forward with greater clarity. When you adopt this mindset, rejection loses its power. It stops being a wound and becomes a teacher. What matters is not how many times the world says no, but whether you keep going with self-respect and resolve. That choice, how you respond, is something no one can take from you. Every rejection you face is shaping your future self. It's proof you're pushing boundaries, that you're in motion. And motion always beats stagnation. So the next time you're turned away, remember, it's not a verdict on your worth. It's an opportunity to rise sharper, stronger, and wiser. Stoicism teaches this clearly. Character isn't revealed by success, but by how you rise after what didn't work. Growth lives outside comfort. Rejection is part of the path. Don't avoid it. Face it. Each time you do, you build quiet courage. Not loud, not showy, just steady. The kind that persists, adapts, and keeps moving forward. You don't grow by being perfect. You grow by refusing to stop. Principle 2. Resilience as a habit. Responding to struggle. We admire resilience in others, the quiet strength, the calm under pressure. But resilience isn't magic. It's not gifted to a few. It's built, shaped by discomfort, carved by adversity. Those who are strong didn't avoid pain. They grew through it. Every difficulty became a forge, not a barrier, but a mirror. One that asked, "What will you do with this?" That's where resilience begins. Not in avoiding struggle, but in choosing to learn from it. Think back to a moment that nearly broke you. Now ask, what did it build in you? The Stoics didn't run from hardship. They examined it. They replaced "why me" with "what is this teaching me?" And that shift, from complaint to curiosity, is where inner strength begins. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The obstacle on the path becomes the path." The wall you hit isn't in your way, it is the way. Every setback holds a lesson. Not if, but when, you're willing to see it. Every painful moment is shaping traits you can't build in comfort. Grit, discipline, humility, clarity. Resilience isn't about pretending everything's fine. It's about feeling the weight and standing anyway. Carl Jung said, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." That's the core. You may not control the storm, but you do control the shape it leaves in you. Struggle doesn't define you, your response does. So when life knocks you down, pause, breathe, ask, what is this refining in me? Because strength isn't something you're born with. It's something you earn, one decision at a time. Principle 3. Control and calm, the Stoic way of responding to chaos. There's one truth we often overlook. We don't control everything. No matter how carefully we plan, life throws curveballs. People disappoint. Circumstances shift. The future refuses to obey. But here's what changes everything. You don't control the storm, but you do control the sail. That's where your real power lives, not in what happens, but in how you respond. Epictetus said it best. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Think about it. How many times have you felt powerless, not because of the event, but because of how you processed it? The Stoic mindset begins with a pause. Before reacting, breathe. Ask, what part of this can I control? Often, it's not the situation, but your perspective, your actions, your tone, your posture, your choice to stay anchored instead of spinning out. You may not control what others do, but you control how you carry yourself. You can't guarantee tomorrow, but you can meet it with discipline today. And while uncertainty is inevitable, anxiety is optional. This is more than emotional intelligence, it's emotional sovereignty. When you stop resisting what's outside your reach, you free up energy to master what's within it. That shift changes everything. You become less reactive, more centered, less panicked, more deliberate. The magic is in the micro moments, staying calm in traffic, owning a mistake, choosing patience when anger knocks. These aren't small, they're training reps for your character. And in those high-stakes moments, when everything in you wants to lash out, stop. Ask, what would the strongest version of me do right now? That pause is the gateway. That breath is your freedom. Because power isn't found in domination, it's found in direction, in choosing who you are, no matter what happens. The Stoics didn't aim to feel nothing. They aimed to master their response to everything, to stay calm in the storm, to hold dignity under pressure, to choose clarity over chaos. And that strength, it's available to you, always. All it takes is the courage to pause and choose. Principle 4. Focus on the bigger picture, zooming out to find peace. When life feels overwhelming, it's rarely because of big disasters. More often, it's the little things, the missed calls, late emails, traffic, interruptions. We get tangled in the moment and forget. Most of what we're reacting to won't matter in a year, or even a week. The Stoics had a remedy: step back, zoom out. Focus not on the noise, but on the narrative. You're not defined by a bad day. You're defined by how you carry through it. Ask yourself, will this matter 5 years from now? Is this problem a dead end, or just one uncomfortable scene in a much bigger story? That question can rewire everything. The Stoics didn't aim for perfection. They aimed for purpose. They didn't obsess over outcomes. They stayed aligned with their values. And that's the mindset that grounds you when chaos hits. Purpose is your compass. You don't need perfect conditions, you just need direction. Even Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Zooming out shrinks the storm. It turns panic into patience, drama into clarity. To live this way, think long-term, but act daily. Not in giant leaps, but in small, aligned steps. Each grounded decision is a brick in the life you're building. That's what Stoic virtue means. Not grand gestures, but consistent integrity. So when the day gets loud, pause. Ask, is this really worth my peace? Or is it just a passing moment in a meaningful journey? Perspective brings calm. Calm brings power. Not because the world stops being chaotic, but because you stop letting it shake your direction. This is how you build a life with depth. One calm, intentional step at a time. Principle 5. Courage through fear, walking into the unknown. We often mistake courage for the absence of fear, as if brave people don't hesitate or doubt. But that's a myth. Courage isn't about being fearless. It's about moving forward with fear. The Stoics understood this well. Fear is part of being human, but it doesn't have to rule you. It's not a stop sign. It's a signal pointing toward growth. We've all felt it. The tight chest before a hard conversation, the doubt before a bold decision, the silence before a leap into the unknown. And it's precisely in those moments that courage is formed. Courage is quiet. It's acting while your hands shake. Speaking when your voice isn't steady. Choosing growth when comfort is tempting. Fear itself is natural. Living under its control is a choice. And the more you avoid discomfort, the more power fear gains. But each time you step toward what scares you, you reclaim that power. So ask yourself, what are you avoiding right now? A conversation? A dream you keep postponing? A truth you don't want to face? That fear isn't your enemy. It's a compass. It points to what matters most. The Stoics didn't chase danger, but they believed fear must be met with intention. Every time you move through it, you reshape your character. Even small acts, choosing honesty over silence, uncertainty over routine, build resilience. Fear grows louder as you approach what matters, not because something is wrong, but because you're stepping into possibility. That tension between comfort and challenge is where transformation lives. The fear doesn't disappear. You walk forward with it. And as you do, its voice softens. Stoicism doesn't teach emotional numbness. It teaches emotional mastery. You will feel fear, and you will act anyway, because the path to who you're meant to become always runs through discomfort. So when you hesitate, pause and ask, what if this fear is the doorway? Choose to step forward, not recklessly, but deliberately. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision, again and again, to walk into your future anyway. And that decision is how resilience is built. Principle 6. Mental discipline. Daily habits that strengthen the mind. Mental strength doesn't appear when life gets hard. It's built long before, in the quiet, consistent choices you make each day. Like any form of strength, it grows through repetition, not by chance, but by training. The Stoics knew this. They prepared their minds like warriors prepared their bodies, through daily discipline, not last-minute hope. One of their first tools? Reflection. Before your day begins, pause. Ask yourself, what might challenge me today? And who do I want to be in response? This mental rehearsal won't stop discomfort, but it keeps you grounded when it arrives, because you've already chosen your response. Another tool? Awareness. When tension rises, don't react. Observe. Feel the emotion. Locate its source. Question its story. In that pause between trigger and action lies your power. That's where clarity lives. And then there's journaling. Not to vent, but to investigate. Just a few lines a day. What did I feel? What did I learn? What can I improve? These small entries become a map of growth, a mirror of who you're becoming. Your mind is shaped by what you feed it. Fill it with noise, and it becomes restless. Feed it substance, books, hard questions, deep ideas, and it gains weight, depth, strength. Read what sharpens you. Watch what humbles you. Seek what stretches you. Consistency is the hidden force behind all of this. Mental training works like physical training. Slowly, quietly, then suddenly. One day, you'll notice you're less reactive, more stable, more clear. That's the reward. Not flashy, not loud, but steady. You don't build resilience in chaos. You reveal it there. And you don't become strong by thinking about it. You become strong by practicing it. Daily. Reflect instead of rushing. Respond instead of reacting. Show up even when you'd rather withdraw. Each act becomes a brick in your foundation. Mental strength isn't about pretending life is easy. It's about becoming someone who stays grounded when it's not. That's what the Stoics trained for, not perfection, but calm, deliberate self-mastery, one practice at a time. Principle 7. Progress over perfection. Letting go of the impossible standard. Many of us carry a quiet weight, the pressure to get everything right, to never mess up, to be flawless. But perfection isn't strength, it's paralysis. It keeps you stuck, always planning, never doing, always waiting, never starting. The Stoics didn't aim for perfection. They aimed for progress, not because they were lazy, because they were wise. Growth is messy. It involves trial, error, awkward starts, and failed attempts. That's how you learn. That's how you evolve. Mistakes aren't signs of failure. They're signs of effort. Every misstep gives you feedback. No perfect plan ever will. So when things go wrong, don't spiral. Ask, what did this teach me? What can I carry forward? Shifting from perfection to progress changes everything. You stop chasing approval, you start chasing growth. Because perfectionism isn't about high standards. It's about fear. Fear of being seen, fear of being judged, fear of not being enough. But once you stop needing to impress, you start being real, and that's when transformation begins. You don't need to be flawless to be powerful. You just need to be willing to act, to learn, to keep going. Start messy. Speak up even if your voice shakes. Launch before it's perfect. Ask before you're fully ready. Because imperfect action builds momentum. It teaches your nervous system that discomfort is safe. It builds trust. Not that you'll get it right, but that you'll keep moving. And that's true self-confidence, not certainty of success, but faith in your ability to adapt. Every imperfect step forward trains you to grow under pressure. It breaks the loop of overthinking. It silences the critic. It makes you unstoppable. So drop the fantasy of flawless execution. Choose motion over hesitation, progress over performance, effort over ego. Because the life you want isn't built in perfect moments. It's built in bold, honest ones, flawed but forward, always forward. Principle 8. Virtue as legacy. Living by your principles. When we think of legacy, we often think of things, titles, possessions, achievements. But the Stoics saw it differently. They believed your true legacy isn't measured by what you own, but by how you live. Not by success, but by character. Virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, self-discipline was their definition of wealth. Because when the final chapter of your life is read, what matters isn't what you collected. It's who you became. Legacy isn't built in one grand act. It's shaped by the small daily decisions. How you treat people, how you hold your values when it's inconvenient, how you respond when life gets hard. Are your actions aligned with the person you want to be remembered as? The Stoics didn't chase praise or power. They measured success by integrity, living true to your values, especially when it's hard. Because the truth is, you can't control how others remember you, but you can control what you stand for. Moment by moment. Each time you choose honesty over comfort, fairness over gain, discipline over impulse, you leave a mark. That's the legacy that lasts. You don't need to impress the world. You need to honor yourself. Live with intention, not perfection. You'll still stumble, but if your compass is virtue, your path stays true. This is Stoic freedom. Not freedom from struggle, but strength through integrity. The world may forget what you achieved, but it will feel who you were. Because the ones who truly shape the world don't do it through noise or applause. They do it through quiet consistency, by living what they believe. And in the end, that's what endures. A life of honor, a life of truth, a life that speaks without needing to be loud. Final reflection, choosing to live with purpose. Every day we're writing our story, not through dramatic gestures, but through the small, quiet decisions we make. What to prioritize, how to speak, where to place our energy, whether to react or respond, whether to drift or to live with purpose. And that's the question at the heart of this journey. Are you living by design, or just moving through the motions? The Stoics believed that we are not simply passengers in life. We are the authors of our experience. And while we may not control the events that unfold around us, we are always responsible for how we show up within them. This is the foundation of a purposeful life. It's not about fame or fortune. It's not about recognition or perfection. It's about alignment. It's about choosing to live in accordance with your values, especially when no one is watching. Because in the end, you won't be remembered for every success or failure. You'll be remembered for your presence, for your clarity, for your steadiness, for the quiet strength you brought into the lives of others. Purpose isn't something you stumble into. It's something you decide, you choose it, and you recommit to it. Every single day, through how you speak to others, through how you handle adversity, through how you keep going, especially when things feel uncertain or overwhelming. And here's the truth. You don't need everything figured out. You don't need a flawless plan. You don't even need to feel ready. You just need to take one meaningful step, and then another, and another. Purpose builds through movement. It strengthens through practice. It sharpens through reflection. And it deepens through repetition. The Stoics would remind you, you are not defined by what happens to you. You are defined by how you respond. And that means your story is never fixed. It's still being shaped by what you do today, by what you choose right now. You may have felt lost before. You may have let fear guide your decisions. You may have lived in reaction for far too long. But that can change. You can begin again, today, not with dramatic change, but with quiet conviction, by choosing to be mindful, by choosing to act with courage, by choosing to stay grounded when the world spins. Because these choices, repeated often enough, shape a life of meaning. They carve a path of integrity. They build a legacy that doesn't depend on applause. They form a center within you that chaos cannot shake. That is what Stoicism teaches us. Not how to escape difficulty, but how to face it with strength. Not how to control the world, but how to command yourself. Not how to be perfect, but how to live with purpose. And so, as you walk forward from here, carry this with you. You don't need to become someone else. You don't need to chase an identity. You just need to return again and again to your deepest principles. Let them guide your choices. Let them shape your habits. Let them anchor you in stormy waters. And trust that with every intentional act, with every pause, with every reflection, with every moment of courage, you are becoming someone stronger, someone steadier, someone free, a person who doesn't need everything to go right to live a life that feels right. That's the gift of Stoicism. That's the power of discipline, and that's the path of purpose. Thank you for being part of this journey. Keep thinking deeply. Keep choosing wisely. And above all, keep living intentionally.